I don't even know if that's a food issue.
No,
It might just be a food.
Just this stash,
just a gross.
and I don't even know what this is. What's this called?
That's a soul top.
Soul patch. Soul patch. There you go.
I'm glad this is all the website. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown yet this year. I mean, obviously they're doing something right. What stands out about that? You know.
Well, I mean, they're a well-coached defense. They're really solid. I mean, they're about top in every area that every important category, whether it's third down, red zone, rushing, passing. So they're a solid defense. They're coached well. They have good players. Be a good challenge for us.
Do you look like they change anything when they get get inside the red zone or?
I don't want to talk about red zone today because we're not there yet. We're still on base downs today, and tomorrow we'll look at third downs. We'll do red zone on Friday. So we kind of have a process that we go through, and so I can't speak to the red zone too much right now.
You haven't had it for the last 6 weeks, but knowing you're not going to get Zach Miller back, how does that kind of change what you guys have going forward?
Well, I mean, you always hate to lose good players, and but like you said, we've been functioning the last few weeks without him. We've been productive. We've already kind of moved on because that's what you have to do. And we had Luke and Coop who've been holding the fort down. We'll get Tony Moyaki that'll be playing a little bit for us now as well, and we'll just keep moving.
What do you see now, Tony? Now that you've gotten a week in the
like what we see. I mean, we know that he's been a good catcher in his past, and he can run routes, he can catch the ball. Looking forward to seeing how well he's able to block. Obviously, we don't get a lot of pads out here, but he looks physical enough. He looks stout, so he'll be able to step right in there for us.
Would Gillian show you as an edge blocker if you need him to keep doing that?
Well, we'll still kind of mix that in. Gary's a big body. I mean, obviously he's over 300 pounds, so we like those matchups there that can present for us. He can catch the ball well as well. So we just continue to kind of put him in there as needed.
Looking back at it, is there anything you can really pinpoint as to why the rushing game was so successful last week, or did you change anything, or did it just start to hit?
I mean, there was things that we were able to take advantage of course, and we were able to make some adjustments during the game. We were able to get it going early, which helps you continue to call it, and you just kind of get rolling. You kind of get a feel. I think I told you guys on that after the game that that they were able to get into rhythm because they can start to feel the combinations. They can they start to know exactly how the defense is playing some of the blocks, and we were able to get it rolling.
Russell, I think, said 4 of his last 5 games, passer rating's been under 80. What have you seen over this stretch to lead that he's just off, or what do you kind of see in the past?
Well, like I said, I think it's important to look at the pass game as a whole. And I mean, all of it works together. There's things that we can do better protection-wise to give them. To keep him on a spot. There's things that we can do better running routes for him. We can be at the right place at the right time, and then frankly, he's there's plays that he's got to be able to make. There's some throws that he needs to make, and I'm sure there's some that he's in the past that he's wanted back, and so it's a work in progress. Each and every week, we continue to try to go out there and improve whatever it is, and. I think I said the other day, a couple of weeks ago, everybody was worried about the run game and where it was, and than there was last week. So you just continue to work on those things.
How much of that was a function of the Giants not responding? Were you kind of astonished that they didn't make adjustments to try to?
Well, I think they were adjusting some things. They just probably weren't making the right ones, and. I think we moved it. We were able to move it around. I mean, we didn't just stay in the exact same thing every play, and so we were kind of having to have them make adjustments on the fly in different areas, and So we were able to move in and out of personnels pretty well. There was a couple on, when we were in base personnel where it was just keep. The quarterback was able to keep it, but then some of the other ones where he's reading it, and they just worked out as a good combination for us.
When you review a 350-yard rushing performance, can you enjoy it, or is it like, if only we'd done this on that play, we would have had 20?
Well, we're always gonna do that. I mean, we're gonna look at the things that we left out there, but I mean, it's a great time to be able to watch that and congratulate the guys on how well they performed and how well they were able to bring it together at that time. But it's one game. We get to enjoy it for that Monday, and we go in and we tell the truth about what happened, and then we move on. We don't have time really to dwell on it and continue to look at it. So we have fun for a couple hours.
How was Will Tuchel off who got left to see at fullback?
I thought he really made an improvement from the first week to last week. The first week played a little bit high. This week he was able to get his pads down a little bit lower, and made some impactful blocks out there on the edge. He was able to kick some guys out. He plays physical in the hole. We still like to see him get his pads down, but that's just for him to be able to be in there more, get more and more reps within our offense. And I think just from one week to the other, he learned how to fit some things. Like I said, lower his pad level, and it was a big improvement from week 1 to week 2.
The receiving group has obviously changed a little bit, and roles have adjusted a little bit throughout the season, maybe from where they were. I mean, is there some work in progress with some of that too, just figuring out how all that part of it all works?
Well, I think we have a good feel for our guys and where we want them and how we want to use them. But there's still growing pains. I mean, we still have 2 rookies that we're using out there. With Paul and with Kevin. We love them. We love having them out there. We think that they got bright futures for us. But there's always growing pains, with younger guys. But just like I said, there's things that we can continue to improve on.
Kristen's obviously different than Percy, but does his explosiveness provide you guys with any of the same stuff that you can kind of do with him?
There's probably some similar things. I wouldn't say everything that we can do, but there's definitely some things we can do with them. And we love Kristen, and we love how explosive he can be and the big plays that he can make. But we still need to make sure that we can trust him in every situation. He's come a long way in that. And obviously you can see that we're starting to put him in there more, and that's something that he's earned to be able to do. And of course, when you have a game like that last week, then obviously that helps you. But there's a lot of things to being a running back than just running the ball.
It seemed like you made it a point to get him involved early last week. What did you want to see out of that specifically?
We just one, we want to use his speed. He's got really good speed. I mean, he's able to hit some things. So we're just kind of giving him some small packages, trying to get him involved in the game. Use his speed as best we can, and takes a couple of plays off of Marshawn as well. And he performed well in that role. So we'll see how we can expand it.
Hart was really downplays his running afterwards, says he's really not looking to do it, just kind of taking it. Do you ever, after like a game like Sunday, when it's kind of obvious maybe it's going to be there, encourage him at all, or does he always just sort of take it?
No, we don't have to encourage him. No, I mean we game plan it, we put it in, and we try to be as smart as we can. With the runs that we ask them to do, and sometimes it's just there, like it was during Sunday's game, and then there's a lot of them where we're just reading them and seeing how the defense reacts, and we're not trying to make him a runner at all. I know that he's run the ball really well for us, but you can see how smart he is and the good decisions that he makes down the field, or after he has the ball, the decisions that he makes with it, and that's what we want to be able to continue to do.
you refer to?
Not getting hit.
Yeah, where he slides, where he gets out of bounds, but it's important. There was one third down where he ends up getting tackled, turned sideways, and that kind of thing. It was a short yardage situation, so there was yards that needed to be made where he couldn't just slide down.
Sometimes quarterbacks who have consecutive runs, out of breath. Russell's in great shape, we all know that. But when you get hit, you're out of breath, you're running like that. Does that have any impact on his ability to settle in the pocket and throw in the next pass?
Well, that's a good question. I think it just depends on what the situation was that he was running. If it's just straight runs and called runs, then I don't think it has an effect. If it's pass plays and where he feels like he's getting out of the pocket and he's scrambling and doing those types of things, I think some of it can have an effect on him. Where you start to feel like it's coming at me fast. We're not blocking them. Those kind of things can start getting in their heads. But just from running the ball, no, I don't. I don't think it has an effect on the passing game.
Well, just means we're going to be doing it, but as a play caller, do you have to consider 20 degrees and snow flurries and wind and all that?
Well, we have to take everything into consideration. It was crazy during that Giants game. It seemed like I felt like every time we got the ball, it started raining, and when they had it, it stopped. And then sometimes it started to come down really hard. So you're trying to get a feel for the conditions, and it worked out well that we were able to run the ball. But you even see run the ball how the one drive where it came out a couple times on the drive. So you're always conscious of the elements and the things that the guys are working with out there, and trying to be as smart as you can with it.
Is conventional wisdom true that colder weather is for running the ball?
I don't know. You probably should ask the players that question. Sometimes some of those hits hurt a little bit worse in the cold, but yeah, it all would depend on how well you're running. If you're running, it's easier to continue to call runs. If you're doing a nice job with it. If you're not, then it doesn't matter what the weather is. You have to throw it if you can't run it.
Is it weird in games when the weather's changing like that against the Giants, and maybe say like the Oilers game last year where it was just so crappy that it was going to be that way pretty much?
Well, I think you have to be conscious of it, and you just have to be able to make smart decisions, and the most important thing is to protect the ball, and you can always punt. And if you're punting, then you always have a chance. But if you're turning it over, giving short fields and those kind of things, it doesn't help anybody. So I think it's just you have to be smart with it and pick and choose what you're asking to do. Depending on how hard it's raining, how windy it is, all those things you try to take in consideration, and you really get a feel of it just during the game.
Are you good with sharing two Garofalo for the defensive line? He's going to get some snaps.
You got to do what you got to do. He's done it before, so yeah, we're good. We're all for the team.
How big of a challenge is Justin Houston?
Oh, they're both of them. With Tamba Ali and Houston. They're terrorists coming off the edge, and we know all about them. It's going to be really important for us to make sure that we take care of them.
Good. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.